Hi guys! Okay, I'm going to be doing the Heart Ramadan Tag today. So I was looking through some YouTube channels and I didn't come across an Heart Ramadan Tag. So I thought I will make one, and then I sort of started tagging all my friends on Instagram. So inshallah, hopefully everyone will also do this tag. Okay, so this is a tough one because I think it really depends on your lifestyle, because sometimes you get really busy and you sort of forget until it's really close. So I would say probably 1 month before Ramadan I do get excited about Ramadan. Sometimes 6 months before Ramadan I get excited about Ramadan. So it really depends on the year and what I've been doing prior to Ramadan. I don't know if this is my favourite memory or one of my most memorable memories of Ramadan, but I remember when I was 7 years old and my parents let me fast for the very first time, and it was actually at the weekend, because obviously if you're in school and you're 7 years old in the UK they don't actually let you fast. So I remember it clearly because I felt like an adult. I felt like, oh my god, you know, I'm a grown-up, I'm fasting, you know. So it was really exciting, you know, sitting down with my family for iftar, and you know, it was just an amazing experience, you know. I look back at it now and I think, oh my god, at 7 years old I was so excited about being an adult, and now that I am an adult I'm like, oh, how I wish I was a child again. But yeah, I think it was my first ever fast. That was my most memorable memory of Ramadan. We don't actually have any Ramadan traditions. I think it's really, I don't know, I don't think we have any specific Ramadan traditions. However, what we do during Ramadan is we actually all have a family meal, as in when we sit down for iftar to break our fast. Actually every single person from the household is there, you know. We have a very busy lifestyle, all my brothers and sisters, you know, everyone's really busy. So on a normal day we sort of have dinner at different times, you know, we all come home at different times, and so we never have a sit down family meal, not even at the weekend. So I guess for Ramadan that would be our tradition, is to sit down as a family and break fast together. I know it's not much of a tradition, but throughout the year we don't sit down to have a meal together. So I think yeah, that is definitely our tradition in our house. Okay, so my favourite food for Ramadan, I would have to say it's something that my mum makes, and I guess we just call it chana, which is chickpeas, and she just sort of cooks it in sauteed onions and with a bit of salt and turmeric, and you know, just a little more spices like green chilies and coriander, etc. And I actually love it with Asian salad, because Asian salad is a bit more like salsa than salad, and it is delicious, you know. I don't know if it's because it is actually delicious or if it's because I'm fasting it's delicious, but I do eat it throughout the year. Like if mum was to make chana like randomly, I would eat it. So it's definitely one of my favourite food for Ramadan. It is so moorish and so filling as well. Okay, so I actually don't think about food as much, but I do think about water all the time. I'm constantly thirsty, you know, and I try my best to keep myself busy, because if you're not busy you're going to be thinking about food. And yeah, I think because where I used to work it was sort of like you're allowed to eat at your desk, and a lot of my colleagues used to actually eat in front of me, which I thought was quite inconsiderate. And I think that is a problem in the UK. When you live in the UK, you know, you live in such a diverse multicultural community that and you know, we should, regardless of race and religion, we should all respect each other. You know, I personally think if someone was fasting for their religious reasons, I would not eat in front of them, and so I guess I would prefer the same courtesy to me, you know. I think it's quite disrespectful that when you're fasting and then other people are eating in front of you, regardless, even if they're not Muslims. Yeah, so sorry about the rant. But no, I don't think of food as much. I do think of water a lot. Okay, besides water and date, we in our household, and it's a very common Bengali dish as well, but I'm not sure, it has regional variations. So my mom cooks something called khichdi, which is with broken rice and lentils, and she also puts some turmeric in there with salt, and it's sort of sauteed it in some onions, I think. I actually need to learn how to make that now. But yeah, normally I actually hate the stuff. I cannot stand the smell or the taste or nothing. But Ramadan comes and I'm like, oh my god, I want some more. You know, it is absolutely delicious during Ramadan. I think because it's sort of like a comfort food, it's really great having it as soon as you've drank your water and your date. Because normally with me, I would have my khichdi and then I would go and pray, and then maybe later come back and have a bit more iftar. But that is what I have to have, you know, after as soon as I've had my date and water, is have to have khichdi. Okay, for suhoor, normally what I do is I eat a porridge. When I was little, I actually used to eat a lot of rice and curry for suhoor, but I think when you grow up, your body can't really handle the type of food you used to eat when you were little. Saying that, I actually prefer to eat porridge. I actually have my own mix, and I do add different bits to it, but what I like to do with my porridge is I put it in a grinder and really pulse it down, so it's just easier to cook for suhoor, you know. And yeah, I just love it with honey or syrup or strawberries, blueberries, you know, there's so much you can do. But I have my own mix that I make, and that is normally what I would eat, is porridge, because it keeps you going throughout the day. And yeah. Oh my god, I think the least favourite is actually the thirst. I don't like the feeling I have of being thirsty, and I actually get emotional because I'm really thirsty. I get really emotional because all these ideas start popping into my head. Well, not ideas, but all these images start popping into my head about, you know, people dying of thirst in the third world, and I can't even fast for a day, well, not even a whole day, like for 12 hours or so, and all I do is think about thirst, and that makes me sad. And when I'm really sad, I get really emotional, because I remember one year I actually had a go at my best friend for no apparent reason, and it was because I was thirsty and she was in my house, and you know, I was yelling at her, and then she sort of took it, and then I started crying because she didn't yell back at me. You know, so that one, I think the thirst does really get to me. You know, I try and check myself, like I tell myself, you know, I'm fasting, but I do get really emotional because I start thinking about all these horrible images about people dying of thirst, you know. And alhamdulillah, we are so lucky that, you know, we have food at the end, which is after iftar. We can have lots of food if we want, you know, we can drink as much as we want. And you know, I think it just makes me think how privileged we are, and it does make me really emotional sometimes, you know. And yeah, I think I find it, the emotional part of it, I find it quite draining, if I'm honest, about Ramadan. And besides that, I think Ramadan is not too hard for me at all, alhamdulillah. You know, I think it's just spending time with the family that is the most important, because I think also with our culture, because I'm Bengali, we have traditions where if a daughter is married, her family have to take iftar for her in-laws and her, and I think although it is a lot of work when you do that and you're fasting at the same time, it is a lot of work, but I think that is a tradition in my family that I really love, because I think that is the time that, you know, all your family come together for iftar in your house, and that is really beautiful. You know, you have all your cousins gathering, you know, from small to big, and we all have iftar together, and there's like 20 to 30 of us in the house at the same time, and you know, everyone prays together as well. And I think that's really beautiful in my house. That's my favourite, I would say, in Ramadan. I think the happiest and the favourite thing would be the same thing, you know, just my family gathering around for iftar, and not just my family but also my cousins when they come down for iftar. You know, I think that is the happiest, because it's almost like we have a little party, but it's for religious purpose. So we all sit down together, you know, the men sit in the living room and the women sit in the kitchen, because you know there's so many people, you can't fit everyone in one room, and it's just really nice. And especially in summer, actually, now what we do is we have it in the garden, so all the children and the young adults all sit in the garden, and we sort of like, you know, dish all the food out, and you know, everyone just helps themselves at iftar, and you know, it's really amazing, and it's really beautiful because I get to see all my family at the same time. And yeah, so I guess that's the happiest and my favourite memory of thing of Ramadan, I guess. Okay, I mean, there's so many tips you can give to someone that is actually fasting during Ramadan, and I think my biggest tip would be, you know, just remind yourself, I'm fasting, I'm fasting, I'm fasting, whenever you get emotional, because I tend to get really emotional during Ramadan and when I'm fasting, and I also get really thirsty, you know. So what I would recommend to someone is, after iftar, try and get your fluids in. So start drinking plenty of water, you know. What I usually do, I have a big jug next to me on the floor when I'm doing my tarawih, and after every couple of salahs I sort of drink some water, because at the moment the timing is really short. So from tarawih to suhoor is so close, so you don't really get to spread your like drinking hours. So what you have to do is you have to try and make sure you get to drink your 2 litres, or if you drink 1 litre of water through that time. So I think really keep it at hand and try and drink as much, because yeah, I think the thirst really bothers me. So that's one advice I would give them, is try and drink as much water as you can after iftar. Okay guys, so that was my I Heart Ramadan tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I tag you now. It's up to you to do this tag if you want to or not. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And I can't wait to watch your I Heart Ramadan tag. Bye bye.